Guys, welcome back. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Ring the bell for next time I'm uploading. So today we are going to go into the joys that is Kailynn from Teen Mom 2 and all what goes on in her such toxic relationships. So let's get into it. Kailynn met Harvey through a mutual friend from recollection. I think Isaac was about sort of the two-ish mark when they first met. They carried on a relationship, got married, ended up having Lincoln. Now, during this time, Kailynn actually, for the first time that I'd ever seen her during the show, was happy. You know, the smiles were genuine. They were, I don't know, she just seemed genuinely happy. They got married when Kailynn was heavily pregnant. Now, for me, I personally, and this is just my opinion, feel that she married him for the benefits of what she would get with him going into the Air Force, which is, you know, I'm not saying is a bad thing, but it was really more of a case of that was going to be, you know, better for them as a family to be married. To me, I don't think Kailynn is the marrying type. I think she's quite happy just to flow through life with different people and different men in and out of her life. Although I'm still going to stick with this is the only time I've genuinely seen this girl happy. As we all seen, Harvey went away to basic training and then he was deployed. Now, this was super hard, I get it, on Kailynn and on Isaac. You know, Isaac has a very strong bond with Harvey, and I think, you know, it done something. And Kailyn's always the type that feels the grass is greener on the other side. And honestly, I just felt so bad for Isaac during the time of the divorce. And he, you know, he didn't understand anything that was going on. He, you know, his quote unquote dad was there, and then all of a sudden his dad's not there, and his mum's got, you know, different men in and out of the house, as we know that she was cheating on him whilst he was at war. When Harvey got back, he sprung up a relationship with Brianna, also from the show. This was never going to work. Like, it just wasn't. You could see that very clearly. It was never going to work. She was doing it just for, I really don't know, just to piss Kailynn off, and he was doing it for fame because he's a fame whore. But it was never going to work. It was never going to work between these two. Then, of course, Lauren came on the scene. Now, I thought this was going to work. I'm not going to lie, I did. I thought it was going to work. I thought, you know, Petty Betty would stay out of it. But, of course, don't be silly. That's not what Petty Betty does. Petty Betty likes to have her men at their beck and call, and this is what she does with them. She will, you know, cause fights within their relationship. She did it with every one of the fellas, and more so with Harvey than others. Just recently, Lauren did a IG live. I did do a video about it. If you go back, or I'll link it in the description if you haven't already seen it. She just basically was very upset and saying how hurt she was with, you know, when two people want to hurt her so badly, which is obviously Kailynn and Harvey. Now, she basically said that they have been sort of banging throughout the whole of their relationship, which again does not surprise me. And, you know, I don't think it really surprised her because he's unable to keep his, like, snake in his pants. And, well, Kailynn is Kailynn. Sadly, that, you know, now this poor girl is stuck in Delaware because she now has a baby, and Delaware is quite strict on their custody laws. As you know, it's a very 50-50 state, and she's going to be unable to leave. She's stuck in Delaware with no family, no friends, and I feel, in my opinion, that he did this on purpose. I feel he likes to use this as a bit of a tool for him to have control. Kail, on the other hand, started a relationship with Chris. Now, Chris is the person that she had a relationship with while Harvey was away on deployment. Homewrecker. I digress though. However, this guy never admitted to having like a actual relationship with her. When asked, he was like, "Nah." Like for him, I honestly feel like, "Nah, any all's a goal and she gives it to me on a plate, so why not?" Sorry, but true. And he's just as shady. But now looking back, I think, he had every right to be shady. Like, would you admit, when knowing damn well that she's banging her ex this whole time for this whole 3 years of their relationship? I probably would feel pretty much the same as well. Now, during their on-off, not relationship, she wants to say relationship, he said no, they were just banging, whatever. They had a child, which is Lux. Lux is, oh my God, he's such a handsome boy. But anyway, this just brought more shade to what Kail is like. She feels that she can genuinely hold a man down, I suppose, if she gets pregnant, and she does quite well. Now, recently, she was charged, and I believe she's in court later this month or maybe next month, with DV charges against Chris, as Chris had cut the baby's hair, and to be fair, he did a piss poor job at it. Like, he really, really did. I would be angry to that point. I don't know. Was she right? Again, I suppose it's what you feel and what you think about it. Personally, I don't. The kid needed a haircut, dang it. Like, let's not beat about the bush. He needed a bloody haircut. But on the other side, Chris could have took him to a freaking hairdresser's and had it done properly. Now, for me, the irony of this charge is, I feel, and this is just my opinion again, there's a bit of karma, because I feel that Kail uses protection orders to piss off her baby daddies. She's done it with Joe. She's used a temporary restraining order. She did it with Harvey she uses this as a bit of a tool, and she also did it with Chris. Chris shouldn't have even been at the birth of Creed, but he was. If he got caught, he would have been arrested because there was a protection order because of her. She uses those protection orders as a little bit of a tool that I have control over you. You will do as I say. If you don't, I'm going to screw with your life. Just like, she took it off Harvey because that could have wrecked his career in the military. But she doesn't care about things like that. It's whatever Kail wants, Kail gets. Now we come on to baby Creed. Now, since she was pregnant with him, questions were circling, and who's the daddy? Who is the father of Kail's new baby? Now, a lot of questions. Is it Joe? Is it Harvey? Is it Chris? Is it a random? Like, we just didn't know. Now, I don't think for 1 second it's Joe. I really don't. Like, I just don't. But saying that, I also don't believe that this baby is Chris's either. Just recently, Lauren did a live, which again circled the whole argument with, if these two have been banging for the last 3 years. And to be fair, they've been banging throughout their whole divorce. They were banging through their divorce. They were the whole time. But again, now the father of Creed have come back up tenfold. To me personally, if you look at Harvey and the baby, I personally believe that he could be the father. He has more similarities to Harvey than he does to Chris. But again, this is just my opinion. Like, if I look at this baby, I don't see anything of Chris at all. Where if you look at Lux, you can very much like the eyes, the face shape, even the nose. You can see Chris a million miles off. Now that's not to say that, of course, he's definitely not Chris's. This again is just my opinion, but as Lauren has sort of come out and stated that they have been having an affair this whole time, obviously this is going to circle back around for people to question who is the father of this child. Now, thinking about the last 3 years that they have been having a affair, we know Kale's not one for contraception. She's not one for condoms. So, I'm not quite sure how she can say 100% that this child is Chris's. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, with Lux, as you see, he does have Chris's features, very much so. So there's kind of no arguments there. But with Creed really doesn't look anything like him. No features at all. No, not even the smile. The pouting looks to me as if it's Harvey. Obviously, there is no proof out there. Will she have DNA testing? I don't know. Have she had DNA testing? I'm doubtful on that, even though I think she said publicly that they did have DNA tests done. Why, if they have, is Chris online questioning the DNA of Creed? I do wonder if Harvey feels or has an inkling that this baby could be his, or whether he's just sort of going to bury his head in the sand and hope that it all goes away, because obviously that would be a huge issue with everybody. I don't know, but I feel that Kale is one of these girls that if she says you're the father, then you should just take it and agree, even if you don't agree. She said so she should, you should believe her, because she's clearly never been a liar, never, domestic violence with anybody. Of course not. I don't know. You can't tell me she was using protection if she got pregnant in the first place, and by not using protection, you can't then tell me that you know exactly who the father is. With Lauren's live recently and all the things that she said and how upset she was, that really did break my heart. I really did feel bad for her. But there's always that little piece of me is like, girl, you knew what he was like and you still went there. You were the third choice. Like, come on, have some respect for yourself. Although, like, I feel bad for her. I can't help it. We've all been in that situation. We all think, it'll never happen to me. He won't do that to me. He loves me. He's going to stay faithful to me. He might have been a prick to you, but, he's not going to be that to me. Girl, Harvey's brain is in the tip of his penis. Not in his head. It's in his other head. Just saying. But, I don't know. Harvey's an attention whore. He likes the attention that comes with being on TV and being on Teen Mom. He likes the fact that, everyone wants to bang him and think that he's attractive. I don't know. Like, let me know what you guys think about that. Now, there are so many questions that I have. Was they banging the whole time? How regular were they banging? Was it just an odd here and there? Is Creed Harvey's? Is it Chris's? Is it someone completely random? Unless a DNA test, we're never gonna know this. For me, it would be like, girl, keep your legs closed. Like, again, these girls, you know, all these teen mom girls tend to think that, you know, sex is love, and, you know, Chris really doesn't. He didn't even want to openly admit that he was even in a relationship with you. And what concerns me most is all of this goes down in front of the children. You know, all of this goes down in front of these kids. And well, I think it was at the very beginning of her pregnancy, she hadn't even admitted she was pregnant with Creed. Isaac said something that you know, when I listened to it, it genuinely broke my heart. He was explaining to Lincoln, he said, well, she was with my dad and then they didn't like each other anymore. Then she was with your dad, my stepdad, and then they got divorced. And then he looked at Kailynn and said, which means he's not my stepdad anymore, right? And Kailynn went, right. That legit brought tears to my eyes. You know, this kid must be so confused with all the men in and out of his life. All these quote-unquote stepdads, you know, how many more is there going to be? You know, I think it's clear that the relationship between her and Chris is over, and if it isn't over, it should be over. It's a very toxic relationship. So now we're going to be on to someone new. We can have a baby with them too. You know, these kids are so freaking confused, and I don't think it's right, you know. I really don't. Just because Kailynn thought the grass was greener on the other side whilst her husband was deployed at war, she decided that, you know, her needs weren't being met, so she just decided to go and bang anybody. For me, not my thing. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment and let's discuss it. My final thoughts. I genuinely think that Harvey is the father. I do think they've been banging for this whole time. Doesn't surprise me at all. You know, she doesn't want Harvey. She's made that perfectly clear. But what she also makes very, very clear, if you watch and listen, is that she doesn't want anyone else to have him either. It's that I want you, and when I want you, I want to be able to click my fingers. You know, there's questions about everything where this girl is concerned. I hope at some point she learns to love herself, because until you love yourself, you can't expect anybody else to love you. And, you know, there are decent men out there, but I just feel this cycle is going to continue. She's going to meet someone new. She's going to have a baby. They're going to fight about custody. She's going to be moaning about it and crying about it. And whilst in the background, still banging Harvey. That's my thoughts. You know, obviously I can't prove it, but that's just my opinion on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to give the thumbs up. And I shall see you on the next one. Bye, guys.